Doctor. The Garden Doctor.
Hello, everyone. I hope you noticed that when we first come on the air, we're always smiling because we love the intro. We love the way they've put it together.
And every time, you must get tired of hearing me say, wow, look at that fish.
She always loves to see herself catching fish. Listen, we want to cover a few things right away. In the first place, the cameraman failed terribly when I went down to video some very nice people down at the Purdue Extension office. We were going to cover the Fayette County Farmers Market, which is right here, and I want to hold that up.
Who was your cameraman?
No, we're not going to get into that.
Don't blame our cameraman, because he's awesome.
No. I did an excellent job of interviewing, and the two ladies did a fantastic job of being interviewed. As a matter of fact, she took over part of the interview for me, but it's Becky Marvel and her daughter Sarah. They did a tremendous job. I mean, they were top of the line.
We'll never know.
We're going to do it again. I'm coming back. Ladies. We're going to do it again. But what we are going to show a little bit later on is an introduction to the basement of the courthouse and showing you just one of the things that goes on in that basement. A little 4 or 5 minute clip that we're going to show you later on. And then we're going to keep talking about this farmer's market. Now, the farmer's market is a very recent introduction to Connorsville. It wasn't here. Excuse me, it's been, I think, 4 or 5 years maybe.
Well, I think the same organization started it up at the Kmart parking lot up there. I think it was the same people, but if I'm not mistaken. But now it's kind of been taken over by the Fayette County people.
This lady, and she is doing a fantastic job, and it's amazing what is accomplished down there, and we're going to get more into that, but they're looking for more vendors.
Absolutely.
If you're interested in selling a product, it must be either made or grown in Fayette County or in one of the adjacent counties. Anybody that touches Fayette County qualifies to come here.
And people don't necessarily need to, when you say farmer's market, you don't have to have zucchini. You can have, if you do have your own honey, if you do your own zucchini bread. I know there's certain label packaging guidelines you have to follow, but anything that you make or take from one product and make into another product qualifies for the farmer's market. They want local goods.
As long as you make it or you grow it, it can be sold at the farmer's market, and we would love to see you. Now, to find out the rules, the regulations, the applications, and all that stuff, you call this number that's right on this right here, or you go down to the...
That's it, hold it just perfect.
You go down to the extension office and visit those lovely people down there, and they really would like to see you.
They are a wealth of information down there. They have rows of publications on how-tos and pesticides and just all kinds of things.
Many of the things that we talk about on this show, many of the answers to the questions that we give you, many of the charts that we use.
They are often a source of our material for the show.
They come from
because it's documented.
The Purdue Extension office.
Yes.
Now, there's also other offices down there in the basement, and I hope to interview some of those and show you what's available down there as well. There's others that are very, very vital.
Now, some more details on this farmer's market. They do it in the courthouse parking lot every Saturday, starting the first Saturday in May, and they get started pretty early. They want you set up and selling by 8 o'clock, and I believe they're wrapping it up at 12 o'clock noon. So if you get up early in the morning, you can be out of there and done by 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 to 12, that's
What's the phone number there, hon, so we can just let them have it? It's hard to see on this flyer here, but if you have any questions, you want to become a vendor, you're more interested in the products, any questions like that, 825-8502. That's your number. Becky is one of the great ladies down there, and they can answer just about any question you have.
And then give them the website there, the Gmail.
That website is, people hate, I think, when you do that, because it's FAYCO Farmers Market all together at gmail.com. So
People hate that, but I
they
did it
do,
anyway.
I know. But yeah, check it out. Farmers Market here in our town. Anything that's going on here in our town that's generating income, products, what have you, is a good thing. So
And I can tell you that some people that have participated in this farmers market have been so successful that they can't participate anymore because they're selling so much product that people
Wow.
are coming to their houses. There's so many orders they have to fill that they can't fill them. So they can't
Oh,
come
wow.
down to get more orders. It's not going to work that
now
way.
is Kathy McDivitt still going to
Oh,
do
yeah,
the
yeah,
Yep? They
the
have to do
McDivitts are down
awesome
there,
stuff.
and the award-winning cheese from.
Oh right,
Yeah.
there's a place that makes cheese out on
they
one.
do a fantastic
and
job.
they won an
She
award.
used to work for me, you know.
Oh really?
Yes, she was. She
well,
was a
everybody
great
in this
worker.
town probably has worked for
Well,
him at one time or another,
yeah.
including me.
Yeah, they also own the property adjacent to us. And,
Yeah, but they won a national award for cheese
yeah.
made in our little local town.
You got
so,
that right.
Yeah.
And they raised
They're down there.
the goats that the milk comes from, and
Wow.
the whole process right from the dirt right to the cheese.
That always amazed me because growing up in the city, everything comes from the grocery store. We might have had a tomato plant or something on our patio over the years in Florida, but all your food, everything you buy comes from, we did go to Tennessee to visit our grandparents, and they had dairy cows, only like half a dozen of them really, a small operation. And to see my grandpa milk the cows, with the automatic milker and pour it through the filter into the can and put it in a cooler, and then the pet milk company would come down and pick up his milk. That was fascinating to me. It really was.
By the way, they are the Brickfords.
The Brickfords,
Yes.
is that who makes the
Matthew
cheese?
Brickford
Okay.
and all of them,
Aren't
yes.
they our neighbors next door down there?
Well, actually, they own property next door.
Okay,
but
the name is
yeah,
familiar.
if you go
Okay.
across the river and through the glen and across the old bridge there, the dry washed
Yes,
out bridge,
yes.
and you take the back way into
To
Connorsville,
one,
yeah, you'll see them. No, you take the back way going back the other way.
Okay.
You'll see them on the right hand side. I pointed out to you.
I know you have. I'm not
dozen
good with
times.
directions.
So anyway, also I want to mention, I'm sure everybody has seen the Notre Dame burning.
Oh,
and just a
awful.
horrible thing. But I want to put something in perspective that you may not have been aware of. Notre Dame was started and built possibly as far back as 800. But let's say that we go with the date that everybody knows that there was actually a structure built and commissioned to be built.
Because it took like 800 years to build and completion,
yeah,
right?
So let's say 1163,
the
okay?
first stone could have been laid in 800 for all you know. I mean,
Well,
but anyway.
Actually, it was used for, the Romans used it before there was a structure built there. And even before that, they believed that the Druids used it. So that location has been
Always
in some
Wow.
type of spiritual something and meant something to someone for many, many moons.
But let's just go with the...
And by the way, my wife's family actually has roots in France, and I have roots in France because my mother's French Canadian, so we're all connected in some way or another. But to put it in perspective, if it was 1163, and if we were founded, the United States, in 1492 when it was
If you
discovered.
go by when Christopher Columbus
Not with
discovered
Leif Erikson found
America,
it,
right?
which I know he was here. As a matter of fact, I think I met him, but,
But
I'm not
before
sure.
Europeans settled on the United States continent, right?
Yeah. 329 years before
Before that.
anybody stepped on the face of this continent right here.
From Europe.
It was from Europe, according to the
Spain.
paperwork. The Notre Dame was being built.
Oh, amazing.
329 years.
I said that at Bible study the other night. I said,
Unbelievable.
you think about that. Hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus even came, and wow, never thought of it like that.
Hundreds of years,
Wow.
yes. You notice I'm wearing the blue and the gold. The blue and the gold.
I didn't get the
My
memo.
wife is wearing nothing.
No one told me.
No,
Including you,
that's
as
all right.
I'm getting dressed to
I
come in
have-
here tonight.
I have gold right here too. You see, there's gold right there. I mean, the blue and gold is everywhere.
You let me not wear blue and gold so you could call me out on
You have
television,
blue.
didn't you?
Let's see, no gold.
I have
Okay.
no gold. I have a gold wedding
All right.
ring. That's
Listen,
about it.
we are doing a live show.
Yes.
We're live.
It's not just us.
She's live.
Ow.
See, I'm live.
Let me poke your
No,
arm.
get away from me.
Okay.
And so, if you wish, you can call in. There's a number on the screen up there. It's on our screen. I'm assuming it's on your screen.
Yes.
And it says 3245.
Yes, 825-3245. Call and speak to the garden doctor.
Now, sometimes I am a little dyslexic. You noticed when I do numbers.
I have words. That,
Yeah, well, okay. And I
You do.
don't always get it straight. But listen,
That's true.
I am coming down to see Becky and Sharon again, and that was a very pleasant visit. And she has put her heart and soul into this, and her daughter is starting, help me.
Jill? Sarah?
No. I know Sarah, but
Oh.
she's starting for this program here for Fayette County Farmers Market. She's doing the Instagram and the tweets. She's doing
okay.
a Twitter account.
So she's doing the social media to really push it.
I hope she's doing
Good.
Twitter. I hope it's Twitter, and I hope it's Instagram. And
I
if it's
don't
not, I
tweet. I don't
apologize.
know
So,
what that is. Okay.
but anyway, and I want you guys to look that up, sort it out, see if you can find the Instagram and the Twitter account that has to do with the Fayette County Farmers Market, and then call me and tell me that you found it, because we want to make sure you track that down. We really do.
Now, this is only our second show of the year. And from here on in, from now through October, I believe it is, we'll be doing 2 shows a month.
Yep.
The first and third Thursday
She wanted
of the
to do
month.
3, and I said no.
No. First and third Thursday. And here's the
Justin
thing.
wanted to do 3. 4. He wanted to do 4. I said no. Not
It's a
doing 4.
live call-in show. Now, they won't keep giving us our slot live. They'll say, well, we could just record the show and play it. It'd be easier.
There you go.
So we're doing the live shows because we want to get some live callers and show them how we want to
And
stay
we want to
live.
answer your questions.
Yes, we do, in
live.
person.
So
Here
if
he
you
is.
have a question, fire away. You've noticed, of course, that it got warm and then it got colder and then it
Yes.
rained and then it dried out. Okay, this is Indiana, all right? However, global warming, which is a reality, I love our president, and I'll take a bullet for him, but there is such a thing as global warming, and it's happening. And global warming is having an effect on our gardening, on our landscaping, on our last frost date, on our first frost date. It's having an effect on everything that goes on in our universe. And I'm here to tell you, about 3 weeks ago, I believe it was, a friend of ours came to me and said, hey, I caught some white bass the other day. You told me where to go. And I said, wow, you're catching them early. Mm-hmm. And he brought me some beautiful big white bass. And I said, oh,
They
my
were
goodness.
big ones. And they were female.
And they were female, and it was way early by about a month. And
usually-
the temperature was wrong.
Oh, because it used to be when the water hit 52 degrees, the males went up first, correct?
Exactly.
Just to make the little nests, what have
Exactly.
you, and then the females came up and what have you.
What we had a whole bunch of warm weather. We had warm rain, and it lasted for a short period of time where the water spiked. And if
Okay.
you look at the charts that is available for everybody,
Yes.
you can go on the
the
rivers.
discharge temperature from
Right.
down below the dam,
And also
all
for
these
the-
different stations along the
have
river.
all of these records that is available to you. You can see that the temperature went up to 50 degrees. It went all the way from the low up to the 50-degree mark, and then it went back down. And at that 50-degree mark was when he was fishing. He was tearing them up. Females, and the eggs were immature. In the females, I dressed them all out, checked them all out. I look at their livers, I look at everything, just to see if there's anything going on inside that I need to know about.
Yeah, no sores on the body.
Yeah, I do the same thing when
were
we
beautiful.
when we harvest a deer. Yeah, they were. They were very clean, but the eggs were very immature. They were not bloated, or they should have been swelled a little bit more, and they shouldn't have been there yet, but they were. And now they went back down, and the males are coming up. So they are up there. Now, by the way, the forsythia are in bloom. If any of you have ever listened to any radio show I've ever done, any TV show I've ever done since 1979, you will know that when the forsythia is in bloom, you put down the crabgrass preventer. This is the time. However, you don't have to use commercial toxic chemicals. I've got a real problem because I have grandchildren and I have great-grandchildren. How many great-grandchildren do I have?
Oh, wait a minute. You have 2 with Amber. Hi, Amber. And 1 from Veronica's little baby.
Okay, so I have 3.
Yes, okay, 3.
Very good. So, but they're going to be crawling around in this
I know,
grass.
yes. Like we
I
always
have a problem, and I suffer from Agent Orange. I also probably suffer from Roundup, Monsanto. It's a real thing, folks. If it's poison and if it kills something, it is not good for you. Okay, that's that.
And even though it was never a law that you needed to wear gloves and a mask and everything, common sense probably should have told you back then if
But
it
it
kills
didn't.
something, it should, so
I used to preach this to everybody else, but I never
Right.
did it myself.
It's just inconvenient.
My
and
good friend Bill Bunyard, he always chewed tobacco, and he would mix his chemicals, and I'd be out there talking to him, and he would be pouring them into his slurry machine, getting ready to spray the fields. He's pouring the concentrate, chewing tobacco. He's got his hands on
Right,
the tobacco,
right.
putting it in his mouth. He got mouth cancer.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so many farmers got the same thing, the same exact thing.
Well, my mother died of leukemia at the age of 52, and then her brother, just a few years later, died of a lymphoma and leukemia at the age of 52. And as children, they they grew tobacco in Tennessee, and they were told to apply this powder or whatever it was with their fingertips to the top of each plant.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, followed behind the truck and did
Tobacco
that. And,
dust.
it is what it is, and nobody knows for sure if that's what did it, but they both died at the age of 52 with similar diseases.
So one of our efforts for this entire year of the Garden Doctor is going to be to give you alternatives. Oh, Lord have mercy.
You got an alternative for that?
Oh, Lord, that just got
Aw.
a sharp pain in the... Okay, alternatives for the chemicals that you use out to kill things and whatnot. Now, my old buddy... you just talked to his wife. You just,
Jack?
no.
No.
Next door neighbor.
Dorothy?
Yeah, her husband.
Bob Fleming.
Bob Fleming,
Got
my
it.
old buddy Bob Fleming. I'm telling you what, I'm medicated still. My old buddy,
Bob
who was it?
Fleming.
Bob Fleming, yeah, that's what.
That's who it is.
That's the same guy. What the heck was I going to say now? Oh,
Something
he
about-
loved to start fires.
Yeah.
He was a firebug, and he was
He had a
crazy about it.
flamethrower out there.
At the
Jeez.
last 2 years of his life, and this was bad because he started losing his sight because of diabetes, he got a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want a sightless man out there with a flamethrower.
Not
This
with
is
the barn,
not a
the
good-
old barn out there.
And but the reason he got it was to kill weeds, and also because he was a pyromaniac.
Yeah,
okay?
Dorothy and I were just talking about that. How he loved to burn.
Loved to burn. But now they have come out with this propane-powered thing, and it
Yes.
has a very small orifice, and it directs the flame right to where you want it. And Mr.
Like a little butane torch, and you just
Well,
hit
it's
that
a little
weed?
bit bigger than a little
Okay.
butane torch, but you pull the trigger and
For weeds?
off it goes. Yeah, this
Wow.
is for weeds, and what you don't want to do, don't be stupid.
It's like spot spraying.
right,
kind of
right.
thing. Okay.
But don't use it against the nylon siding on your house,
Or the wood barn that's been there 100 years dry.
or the
and-
wooden fence,
Or the
or the
hay.
nylon fence, or the plastic fence. You got to use some brains here.
So it's kind of a
But-
country tool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's more rustic and rural. Yeah,
Gotcha.
And don't be walking around downtown Connersville with one of these things either.
No.
So,
No.
but that's an alternative, and that's one of the things that we're going to introduce to you. And something that absolutely
Now,
floored
what is
me.
my buddy Greg? He uses hot water with vinegar. Was it vinegar?
Vinegar,
Greg,
yes.
if you're watching, call me. He uses hot water with something
Yes.
to spray and kill weeds instead of using Roundup and chemicals.
Exactly. You use scalding hot water, and you can put salt in it, a small amount of salt.
Maybe that's what he uses, Epsom salt, even.
You could use
I don't
Epsom
know.
salt. But listen, salt is if you look at the salt flats, if you look at the salt desert,
Nothing growing.
Okay, salt is a killer. It kills everything, and it doesn't just kill now, it kills for a long period of time. So don't get carried away with the salt. More is not better.
It's not too great for the human body either, so
Right.
that kind of...
You can't use too much salt, but we have to have salt or we die.
Right.
So,
your heart without the right amount of sodium won't
but
work.
something that really excited me is this new thing with the 20 Mule Team Borax. No, but with corn. And
Now, as a kid in Florida, we always used 20 Mule Team Borax and sprinkled it on the carpet if you had fleas.
yes,
because
very
they hate it.
effective.
Yeah.
20 Mule Team Borax is a heck of a
Not
product.
to mention, it's a great cleaner.
And I'm going to get to that in a minute, but this is corn gluten meal.
Okay.
I had never heard of it. I have no idea where this came
So
from.
people who are gluten-free, this is the gluten that is
I don't know,
offensive
I guess
to their
they
body?
yanked the gluten out from everybody in the world.
Gluten is some kind of something that binds, it's a binder
Yeah,
of
right.
things.
Okay, so you take corn gluten meal.
I'm assuming you can buy it.
And it works as a pre-emergent. Okay?
Really?
You put it on your yard. It stops the weeds from growing. It has an
Like
oil
a
or
weed
something.
preventer that we buy and put down, and this will do it?
And then it decomposes and becomes a high nitrogen fertilizer.
Wow.
This is insane. Why did I never know about this?
And it says for other purposes, this corn gluten is pretty much useless, but if you're looking for an organic, wow.
Yeah. And so I've got to do a lot more looking into this. I'm buying 4 bags of corn gluten
It will
tomorrow.
not harm your lawn.
I'm going to make some warm cereal for her just to see if it's harmful, if
And
it's
look,
toxic
and
all.
it's very high in nitrogen, so it's good fertilizer as
I
well.
just said that.
Oh, I wasn't listening,
Yeah,
I
well,
guess.
I
was reading while
we
you were
know
talking.
that. We know
I was
that.
trying to help.
Okay, so
Okay.
then we go to the borax.
Oh, yes.
20 Mule Team Borax is a fantastic control. But what you do is you mix, I don't have my glasses on.
Here.
What's it say right there,
There's
dude?
your glasses right there.
Ah, see, I can't find
It
my glasses.
says,
without my
all you have to
glasses.
do is add 10 ounces of borax.
I had to
You
write it
cut
on there.
off part the page.
Why is it just 10 ounces?
10 ounces to 2.5 gallons, which is the size of your average sprayer.
10 ounces to 2.5 gallons.
It will literally kill any plant life it touches.
And
wow.
I'm talking any, so you don't want to use this in your garden
No.
because it'll drift and you can have a problem with
Wow.
that. And we're going to talk about a few more there too. But right now I would like you to read some of these fabulous jokes
Why do you do
that
this
I
to me?
found. And I'm going to give you 1
Okay.
minute.
All right, rapid fire then?
Rapid
okay.
fire. Are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Go.
Why did the pine tree get in trouble?
Don't know.
It was being naughty.
Keep going.
What did Betula Pendula say to her super annoying sister?
First you have to know what a Petula Pendula is.
Not a clue, I'm just reading.
All right, go again.
It says, leave me alone, Birch.
Yeah, because it is a beach.
Ah, okay. Which side of a tree has the most leaves?
Don't know.
The outside. What is green, has leaves, and a trunk?
Don't know.
A houseplant going on vacation.
Whoa, that's a good one.
What must trees drink responsibly?
Tell me.
Root beer.
Root beer.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
Got
okay,
it.
why can't Christmas...
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
Why can't Christmas trees sow?
Don't know.
Because they drop their needles. What tree produces fruit that tastes like chicken?
Wow. What? Did I do that one?
Yes. What tree produces
Don't
fruit?
know.
Poultry.
Poultry. Well, of course.
Is that
it's
a real
poultry.
tree?
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay. What is a triangle palm's favorite school subject?
Don't know.
Trigonometry.
Oh my gosh.
Why do trees hate tests? Because
me.
they get stumped by the questions.
Her father would love these jokes. Dad, I hope
are
you're
you there?
watching. These are all for you.
And I hope you know you can be live watching our show because it is streaming live on YouTube. You go to youtube.com/localtv3 and we should be streaming live right now so you
Call
can
all
watch
your
us on
friends
YouTube.
and tell them
And
to watch
so
the old show.
Everybody can watch and call in live, not just people who get cable in our
Exactly, yeah.
town. So
and,
that's
and
kind of
connect
cool.
with everybody and tell them all this stuff and tell them that we read jokes online.
Yes. What do you give to a sick citrus tree?
Don't know.
Lemonade.
Whoa.
Did you hear about the elephant that got stuck up a tree last summer?
I did.
In order to get down, she had to sit on a branch and wait until fall.
Go.
What happened to the wooden car with wooden wheels and a wooden engine?
Don't know.
It wouldn't go. What's the same size and shape as a giant sequoia tree, yet weighs nothing?
Nothing. Oh, I don't know.
A giant sequoia tree's shadow.
Whoa. Oh, you're almost out of time.
What
Hurry,
did the
quick.
Jedi say to the sacred tree?
The Jedi. Oh, I like Jedi.
May the forest be with you.
Ah, lovely.
What happens to the most lovely trees every Valentine's Day?
Don't know.
They get all sappy.
Oh my goodness, you're almost out. You are one more. You got one more.
I'm the part of a tree that is not in the sky or under the ground. I can move throughout the day and change shape. What am I?
Don't know.
It's shadow. We already had a shadow.
Oh, you got two shadows now. You're done. You're out of time. You got to stop. Start up there again when we have the next joke minute, which we will have coming up here in a little bit.
Aren't you thrilled? I bet you can't wait for that. Our next minute of jokes. Okay.
Now listen, this is the Garden Doctor Show, and we're going to do some things here about gardening and so forth, but I want to tell you what the things are that you can plant right now. And, people are just not taking advantage of all of the things that they can grow, and I'm not sure. We got away from growing in the garden for a long time, but we better get back to that because you're the only one that has control over what you eat. When you go to the supermarket, I'm sorry to say, as much as they try, you don't have any control.
Yeah, it's true.
You might be getting something from Southeast Bulgaria that came over on a ship that got delayed out at the sea.
And it's not just what might be on the outside, because even if you bring it home and wash it and scrub it, you don't know what the water was contaminated with it that it was irrigated with, or what the soil might have been contaminated with that it was grown into. So there's a lot of different variables. It's not just about bringing it home and washing it off. Now, one thing about
transportation, the people that carry it, that move it, that's why the farmer's market is so vital.
I always went poo-poo at the label organic.
Yeah.
Okay, but that
You really
is
did
a label.
poo-poo?
I
Is that
did
what you
poo-poo.
poo-poo?
That label actually means something. There are legal guidelines that
It's
it
the
has
only
to,
label that
it's
means
the
anything,
Only,
I'm
right.
telling you.
All natural, blah, blah, free, all that doesn't really mean anything, whereas organic actually has legal things it cannot have in it to be called organic. So it is, even though it's a little pricey, sometimes it's necessary, other times it's not, but,
So get out and plant a few things this year. Give a few things a shot.
Yes.
Right now you can put in, please put in broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. You're kind of getting closer to the end of that. But give them a shot. If it starts getting too hot, put up a shade. Put up something to keep the heat off from them until they develop all the way. Ours are doing well.
Well, our broccoli is not so much. Wrong. The cauliflower is not so much.
The rabbits ate it.
Yes, and here's another problem. I have a mole that came under the fence. I planted a row of peas. They were just
Remember,
starting.
you hold the mole, you put a little oil on his head.
You didn't catch this one, and you didn't rub him and massage him with his oil and let him
If you
be
didn't
killed.
see the last show, let me tell you.
Yes.
I got people
This is a way
stopping
to-
me in the street
to get
and they're
rid of your
laughing,
moles.
but I don't know what they're laughing about. And now I
You
figured
can
it
get
out.
rid of your moles, but you have to rub this type of oil all over them. You'll see.
Twice a week.
Twice
you
a
have
week.
to rub this on.
Right.
Yeah,
And
every
then
other day, I think it
it
was.
eventually removes
And it'll
them.
get rid of the moles.
It will.
I guarantee it.
But anyhow, one climbed under the fence, and where the ground was soft, because I had planted that row of peas, he burrowed the whole length of that and ruined all the seedlings that were coming up. And
Wow.
my dog didn't kill it, and you didn't kill it. So
Well,
yeah. Wow.
I'll get the shotgun out. Okay, beets, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, let's see, carrots, cauliflower, chives, collards.
Is that right
and
now? Okay.
Corn salad. What is corn salad?
Corn salad. I had to look this up because it's not what you think. It's not a salad you've made out of corn kernels. It is actually a small plant that is an annual plant, and it's edible. Here it is. It's a small annual plant that is eaten as a leaf vegetable. It has a characteristic nutty flavor, dark green color, and soft texture, and is served as salad greens.
And where'd it come from? Keep reading.
In restaurants that feature French cooking, it may be called doucette or
Doucette.
réponse.
Réponse.
Réponse as an alternative to mâché,
Manger.
by which it is best known. In German-speaking Switzerland, it's known as Nusssalat or Nussler. Why are you making me say all
butcher.
this?
Because
I'm
it's
gonna
funnier
beat
than the jokes.
That's not funny.
Keep going.
I don't want to now.
Read on. Read on.
I'm scared.
History. Go down to history.
Corn salad was originally foraged by European peasants until Jean-Baptiste de la Constantine, royal gardener of King Louis IX, if I know my Roman numerals, introduced it to the world. Nope, that's not nice.
What else does it say, honey?
No.
Give me that.
American President Thomas Jefferson. I
There
can
you go,
say
she got that one.
Cultivated matcha at his home, Monticello in Virginia in the early 1800s. Okay. Wow.
It is a green. It's a salad green, and you can eat it. It's actually pretty hardy in this area, so you can grow it like Swiss chard. It'll keep repeating. It'll come back. You have to admit that was funnier than the jokes.
I'm trying to pronounce it without slaughtering
Justin,
it.
here in a moment, we'll run that interrupted video so that I can catch my breath here and get a drink.
Yeah, get a drink of water.
And
okay.
if you're ready to go with that,
And then when we come back, let's do some current events to catch
we'll
up
do some
on.
current events. All right, now we'll be gone for just a moment.
Hi, I'm Sarah Marble, and let's take a little journey down to the lower level of the courthouse to show you where the Purdue Extension office is. Hi.
Hey daughter, how are you? Glad you're coming down here to the Purdue Extension office at the lower level, side of the courthouse here. So let's go on in.
So right as you come in, you have our wonderful Purdue Extension table. Right through that door is the Purdue Extension office. And right down this hallway, you have the health department and the surveyor's office.
And this is where also you can find a lot of our information. So if we're not here at the moment, we're here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday we're open till 5. So we put a lot of our information out here. So come on into the Purdue Extension office. The Purdue Extension office is more than just 4-H. A lot of people really think that that's all we do year-round, but in reality, we have lots of cool programs. We have the Health and Human Science department that is also here, which provides parenting classes, nutrition classes such as dining with diabetes, a walking program, early childhood programs. Also, we have an agricultural department as well here, which deals with helping farmers with pesticide, doing soil samples, and a lot of various things. So if you have questions about your trees or your shrubs, you can come in here and get information as well. We also have nutrition education department, which is what I am with, and my office is right over here. So if you come in, you can come in over here. Here, Kelly Isaac, she's our office manager. She is our greeter. And then also at our other desk, we have Joe Kennedy, our 4-H assistant, which can help you with 4-H information. So the Purdue Nutrition Education Program, we work on health initiatives such as the farmers market, helping restaurant or businesses or government offices to have healthy food, healthy concession stand. I know Sarah, you've worked with the Junior Leader Healthy Concession Stand. You might tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so over the past year, we've tried to help give healthier options, especially at our fair where there is very few healthy options. So Junior Leaders is that one little stand out of the whole fair that kind of helps provide healthier options and cheap water and that kind of stuff.
And also, we're working on getting walking trails downtown, which helps our local in businesses and government entities to get healthy. In fact, we're going to be hosting July the 15th, a big walking event down here, which will coincide with the farmers market and just getting everybody out to get healthy. One thing that we're really excited about, Purdue Extension developed a program called Food Link. And what we have at our farmers market are these little cards next to fruits and vegetables. And all you have to do is scan with your smartphone and it will tell you how to prepare it, how to store it, and give you recipes. Because so many of the times we just don't know what to do with maybe that zucchini or that eggplant when we take it home. Also, they've developed when our food in season in Indiana. And that's so critical to understand why our farmers market might look different than a farmers market in Texas or Washington State or even Hawaii. And so these are great tools that we have at our farmers market. In addition, we also accept SNAP, which has been really exciting to help our low-income friends in our community. They'd be able to buy all these foods, and it also helps to grow our agricultural community. And in essence, we are like a business incubator for food sources. And so we are very excited to have these tools. And we hope that you can come and visit us. And we're so glad that the Garden Doctor came today to highlight Purdue Extension. And we're here to help at any time for your needs.
Didn't Becky do a fantastic job?
That was awesome.
She really did. And you should have seen her with a microphone. I mean, she wouldn't give me the darn thing back.
And you see all those racks and behind her with the papers. That's all these
Exactly.
information sheets and printouts, and it's from Purdue. It's all,
Talking about
studied.
the farmers market
Yes.
again. You
Very
call
good.
this number, which is
825-8502, and they'll give you all the information.
Ask for Becky down there.
To sell down there, you do have to fill out an application for them to have on file. I believe it's $5 each time you want to sell, or you can buy a pass for the season for $50 if I'm not mistaken. You'll get your same space every time if you want it. I mean, they'll really explain everything to you.
Yeah, they do a fabulous
Yep.
job, and you really need to get involved in this program if you
I
can.
think I will. I think I'm going to try. Yep.
Well, you did a little bit last year. Was it last year or the year
It
before?
was just tough for me to the early morning part.
Yeah.
My body doesn't always cooperate with my pains and fibromyalgia, but if I get set up and loaded up the night before and set the clock early and get enough coffee in me, I think I might be able to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
If I commit to it, so I'll try.
If I get enough coffee into her, and okay.
He's so nice. He gets up in the morning, he lets the dog out, he makes the coffee in the morning, and as soon as I start smelling that coffee and the dog dives on my bed and licks my face real hard, then I can get awake.
And let me tell you, our dog dies.
she does.
Dies. Yeah, she's
does.
very overbearing.
So-
we have, you've got some current events, but
Yes.
The hummingbirds are coming.
Yes, they are.
Get your hummingbird feeder out. And by the way, it's a myth that leaving the hummingbird feeder out, putting it out too early or leaving it out too late in the year will cause them to stay. They're going to migrate when they're going to migrate, depending on the light. And
There just was something, or there's going to be something at Mary Gray Bird Sanctuary, I believe, about the migration of the hummingbirds.
Really?
And I wish
wanna
I'd
go to that.
done
Somebody
more
call me and tell me
information.
about that.
It already happened, or it's getting ready to happen. Something I read, I can't remember now, but
Somebody call me.
yes,
Call me
please
and
call. Let him
say
know.
hi.
Oh, and another thing about the hummingbirds, and it's on one of these sheets, but while you've got that subject up, if you put Vicks Vapor Rub, the little...
I was going to tell them that.
right, you
No,
tell.
go ahead.
If you put Vicks Vapor Rub on the holes of your hummingbird feeder, the hummingbirds will still come, but the bees will stay away from it. And that's always a problem when the bees and the ants get in your hummingbird feeders.
Around the holes, not on the holes.
okay, there you go,
Because it'll
around the
gum
hole.
up the hummingbird.
Not in the hole, around
right.
the hole.
And it's because birds can't smell.
Oh, is that why?
Michelle.
Smarty pants.
Well, and anyway, but the other critters can, the bees and so forth that try to get in there, and they don't like the smell of Vicks. So they're repelled by it. Yes,
now we
we're-
want bees, but not there.
we're repelling them. We're not killing
Killing them, right? Okay.
What do you got for current events?
Well, last time I was here, I talked about a 5K running out of Fayette Memorial, Fayette Foundation, and it was to benefit the Connorsville High School track team. And I thought I might go down there and check it out. Now, I did not run. I walked, and another lady and I from church, Vicky, if you're watching, we walked together. I think we were the slowest two people. I was the slowest in my age group. I think I did a 52 minutes and 20 second 5K,
Wow.
which is about 3.5 miles, but I did it.
Yes,
First time ever. I
that's
did get
right.
out and I
You
did
did
do
it.
it. So, and we are still looking forward to this military parade, okay? And this
Yes.
is something they've been talking about bringing back for quite a while. Used to be a big part of it, the Armed Forces Day parade, and that still is looking like it's May 18th.
Got a big billboard south of town.
Yes,
Very
and they're
big monster
still
billboard.
looking for floats and what have you to be in the parade, and there are rules about what to be.
Is there a contact number there?
There is a contact number. If you want to speak or have any questions, 265-7109, and that is a 765 area code.
Is that
That's
Ellison?
the number. Well, that's
Is that
what
Ellis?
John had told us, that it's Adrian Ellis in charge of that.
I think it's Ellis,
Okay, and that is the number that is listed on this website. So hopefully they get something really spectacular together with that. I
Wow.
would love to see that. Let's see, what else? That Peacock Festival we went to up at
Oh,
the
yeah,
Expo
that was
Center. That was
wonderful.
pretty cool. A lot of
For
homemade
Connorsville,
ideas.
that was
It
great.
really was. People are ingenious, the things they come up with for craft ideas, really is.
Yeah,
Now,
that
this
was
week
excellent.
is kind of special being that it is Easter week and there's a lot going on at our church. You know how we love going to the Cross Point Biker Church, how much they do for the community, how much we enjoy going there, listening to the music. Our office person here who's taking care of the show tonight, Justin, he's a bass guitarist in the band there. We love the music. They added this now. Friday night at 6 p.m. they're doing a Good Friday communion service, which I'm so looking forward to. But for the community on Saturday, they are having a huge Easter egg hunt out at the church off of Fayette Street there and the tracks on the east side. Huge Easter egg hunt from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we helped fill some of the eggs with candy. They filled over 5,000 eggs.
I'm not sure if that's
Oh
if
my
there's
gosh.
bad weather, if they're going to move it to another
I don't know. I
time or
didn't
something.
hear about a
But if
rain
it looks
plan.
like it's bad weather, call them to find
don't
out what's
know.
going on. And there's a website too and everything.
And then on Sunday, they're going to have a spectacular Easter Sunday service.
Two services.
They have a 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. service, but at the 11 a.m. service, they are going to be giving away a 50-something inch giant screen television. They're giving away a giant gas
Bicycles
grill.
for the kids.
There's 8, 10, 12 bicycles they're going to be giving away to
Bicycles
kids.
everywhere.
And they said they just want you to come. It's all about fellowship. Let's get together. So we
And
are looking forward
check
to
with
this.
your local church.
Yes.
Check with a church, maybe a church you've never attended before.
Or if you go
but
to
one
church
you've
somewhere.
driven by that your friend goes to, and
And if you go to a church already somewhere, see what else they have going on and support every single thing they have
And if
going
you
on.
have a special event, send it in to us.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you get it available to us.
We
and
would
we'll
love to promote your
make
event for
every
you.
effort to get it online
And the
for
next
you.
thing I have, I want to really talk about is the Gilman's Ladies Night. Now they have a lot of gardening.
Good
and, it's been a big fun event.
It
now.
has been a big
It's
fun event.
really grown.
I am not dancing this time.
They
though.
sell a lot of gardening supplies,
dancing.
everything you
No.
need there. And it's next Wednesday, April 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. They'll have snacks and wine for the ladies and free samples, door prizes. So it'll be a really fun night. I'm really going to try and get over there and check it out and see what's going on.
I'm just, I'm just a little concerned about my balance on the table and everything.
Well, just
with this arm,
don't be doing the bar dance again.
I'm not going to do that.
You're not allowed to do that.
Do you hear that, Gilman's? I just can't make it, okay?
And of course, one more thing. Wednesday, May the 1st, Gleaners always comes to our church over at Cross Point, and they do their food giveaway. It's a food pantry type giveaway, and it's for any Fayette County resident who is 55 years or older. There's no other income requirements or anything. It's just for the senior population. We often go to help out or to take food as well, because it is a big help to our budget, anybody's budget really. So there's not too much involved. I think you show a driver's license, what have you. That's on May the 1st at about 3 p.m. they start opening the doors. So that's about all the news I have. And there's the news.
And we didn't get all the way down through the plants.
Let's see
you
what
take
else.
over on that.
So
we stopped at the
the one you're going to make me say
That's right.
endives. Okay, that's between April 1st and May 1st. Now this date is the last frost date. Is that the date you're giving me here?
the last frost date is April 26th to May the 5th. The
Okay.
reason they have that span is just to cover their proverbial
And
butts.
this date is best planting date?
Best planting dates.
Okay.
Those are all best planting dates.
I see.
Actually, May the 5th is now the unofficial date, and they've moved it back to May the 1st as an unofficial date also.
So now you should be planting your kale. Actually, I have some kale that's doing quite well already. And again, your broccoli, cauliflower. I have some lettuce, some Bibb lettuce out, which it says here is a good time for that. Let's see, and that's not even counting the seeds I've started. Onions are good now. Mustard, I'm assuming they mean mustard greens.
Yes.
Parsley, your parsnips now. It says you can still do peas. How do you feel about that? Because I didn't know if I was going to try again after the mold got me.
I have had very poor luck with peas not planted in March or early mid-April. I've not had very good luck
so
with them.
So if these
at all.
don't come up, I'm not going to bother with anymore.
I don't know.
It's too hot.
You can do it again in the fall.
Okay.
I've had good luck in the fall.
Okay, very good then. It looks like you can still do radishes and
radishes you can plant almost all season, but they will tend to crack and blow up if you plant them too much in the heat.
What is salsify?
Salsify, that's the one we will tell you about the next time, but I'm telling you, it tastes like an oyster.
Okay.
That's what they grow
spinach,
it for.
still a great time for spinach.
It's a poor man's oyster.
Turnips, get your turnips in. Now,
I
what
love
about,
turnips.
It's still too early for your beans. We don't get into that until after your frost date. Your beans.
Please
what
don't
else?
plant anything too
Your
early.
corn,
but I wanted to tell you about tomato plants.
Cucumbers, okay.
People have been asking me for years, when is the earliest possible I can plant my tomato plants? You can plant your tomato plants last week if you want to, but plant them in the house. Grow them in the house. Why not?
Yeah.
Get some tomato plants. Don't put them in the ground because the ground is too cold. Don't put them outside because the night temperatures are too cold.
Well, I have the greenhouse, which it's not a sweat house. It's just a warm place.
Oh, it's a great place.
Where I can start my seeds, and I've started some plants. I have a few tomato plants, and rather than have them out in the garden where they could be frosted, they're just in the greenhouse right now till they can be safely.
But you could grow 3 or 4 or 5 tomato plants. Get a pretty good size, not a great big pot, because you don't want the roots to be too loose when you go to transplant, all right? You kind of want it a little bit root bound when you go to transplant. And you're going to sever the roots. You're going to slice down through them when you transplant, and you're going to bury about half of this plant, okay? So buy a good healthy plant it down in the bottom of the pot that you're growing it in, a good 6-inch pot, and keep it fertilized, but not too much nitrogen. You don't want it all to go to top growth. Get a good balanced fertilizer and grow your tomato plant now. You're not going to plant it until later than the last frost, which is May the 5th.
You're right.
Wait until about the 15th of May because the soil has to heat up.
Okay.
If you have to get out there and plant it, and I've said this over and over and over again, cover it with clear plastic. When you get ready to plant it, use fish emulsion. Mix it in with hot water. I'm talking scalding hot water. Fish emulsion. Pour it down in the hole. This will fire up the soil.
Okay.
It will heat up the ground.
Heat it, get it going.
And get the ground ready for the tomato plant. And then when you put back half of the soil, you put on, the water should cool down by then. Don't put scalding water on your tomato plant because it'll kill it.
As it kills weeds.
You want lukewarm water with a little fish emulsion in it. Water that in real good, halfway full. halfway full of dirt, pour the fish emulsion on there, let it dispatch. Then and pour it on again, let it all go away, and then you backfill it the rest of the way with dirt. Then as it grows, heel up to it one time.
Okay, yep.
And what you've done is you've allowed for all of that stem to grow root structure. People just won't plant their tomato plants deep, and
You've
then they
told me that once, and I plant them to where there's only this much of the top of the tomato plant sticking out. I cut off all the other leaf branches, plant the whole thing with only this much sticking out the top.
We've run tests on that. Purdue has, and so has University of Wisconsin, University of Michigan, a few other places, about planting it with the leaves and stems, everything, and see if they actually produced roots.
Do they?
So
I
far,
cut 'em
I haven't
off.
found any results.
Because I just always have cut them off and figured it would grow roots right out of where it was cut.
Well, they're actually growing the entire stem. The entire stem is able to grow a root structure, okay? So we don't know exactly.
So the more roots, they can take up the more nutrients.
Right,
Okay.
right, and they can produce more for the top.
Awesome.
Now, it is not true that putting sugar in the ground, and I heard this many, many years ago that from a Kentucky friend of mine.
Will sweeten your...
She said, put sugar around your tomato plants, or honey if you can't get sugar. And I'm going, what? And she said it'll sweeten your tomato plants. Well, I thought she was right. And I tried it, and I couldn't.
They claim it's a wives' tale
But it does
now.
not work. But what does work is basil. We know
right,
that
we plant it with
companion plant basil
and marigolds.
and garlic. Garlic even is a companion plant for tomatoes.
Because then you have insecticide properties of all these,
repelling the insects.
and the basil sweetens the tomatoes.
And I generally put a cup around the base of my tomato if I think about it. Pop out the bottom of a Dixie cup, slide it up over the tomato plant or down over the tomato plant so that you stop the cutworm. The cutworm doesn't come. Now, I haven't had a problem with cutworm for a long time, so I haven't done it for a long time. One of these days, they're going to come through and mow all my tomato plants off.
And we keep moving. You know, we rotate our gardens, so maybe we didn't have a problem with them in this area, but we might the next area. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a question about warming the soil. Now, in the past, you've talked about putting down plastic to warm the soil before you plant in it. Can you do that now, or would it have to have been covered all winter?
No, you can do that right now because you're not going to plant it until the 15th.
Okay.
So the sun, the temperature can be freezing at night, and when the sun hits that plastic, it heats up underneath it.
Because it's
You know
still
what
getting
happens
pretty cool at night.
Oh yeah,
and
but the greenhouse effect underneath that plastic is
and is that a good idea to do right now?
Oh, it's a fabulous idea to put it on right now. It kills the insects, it kills the grubs, it stimulates the growth of the weeds. The weeds, you uncover them, they all die.
Right, okay.
It does so much good. It dries the ground out so you can till it, so you can work the ground. It heats it up. There's no negatives here.
Okay.
And then if you do put plastic mulch around your tomato plants, what color should it be?
We use black.
It should be red.
Oh, for tomatoes, right. I was reading that the tomatoes, for some reason, actually love the color red.
Very much
grow
so.
toward it, and they say to start it in red pots, your tomato seeds, and when you plant your tomatoes to put red plastic around it. I did read that.
And nothing will grow under, around, or adjacent to a walnut tree. So if you have got a garden out there and you've been trying to grow even close to it, if you've been trying to use some of the leaves from a walnut tree in your compost and you're finding you're having problems in your garden, if you get compost that has got a lot of walnut leaves in it that hasn't been allowed to compost,
it produces a poison called
juggalo.
Juglone. So I forget how you pronounce it.
I like to call it gigolo, but
okay.
it's
now,
really not.
Coming up on Good Friday, what is it we always think of on Good Friday? What do you do in your garden on Good Friday is you plant your potatoes.
Potatoes. I used to sell thousands, I'm not exaggerating a bit, thousands of pounds of potatoes so that they could plant on Good Friday. And those guys would get out there and plant. I don't care if it was a downpour of rain, if it was lightning, thunder, and a hurricane and a tornado all at the same time, they're out there planting their potatoes. That's what they're doing. But what did you find out?
Well, most people, they claim that that's when you should do it, and it's just commonly known. People say, oh, well, it's Good Friday, you plant your potatoes, and there's no real evidence for it.
Except that it always falls.
Because Easter can be any time between March 25th and April 25th, and in most regions of the United States, that's a big difference as to when you should,
It's a big
what
difference.
the weather could
You're
be.
right.
However, Easter is based on after the whatever moon. Okay, so Good Friday is always going to be the right moon phase.
The dark of the moon, where it pulls down, pulls the stuff into the ground.
Anything that goes
in the ground.
I gotta find it where it actually, because the way they worded it was good. Actually, I had all four phases of the moon.
Did you know that there is no potatoes in the Bible? That's fascinating to me. I didn't know that there were no potatoes listed in the Bible.
Well, there were no potatoes in Europe until 1600 something. So, this was all in Iraq and Turkey and Asia Minor.
And it came down into it. So what did you find out about
They came from the Andes, these potatoes, back in the 1600s. And so the other thing, too, was that because there were no potatoes in the Bible, they didn't want to grow and eat potatoes. But
they
the
figured they were the devil's rock or something like that.
But they figured, well, okay, if we plant them on Good Friday and we sprinkle them with holy water, that will make them more palatable for
And that's what the
Christians.
people from Ireland did.
So that's what they did
in particular,
to make it more acceptable to grow this food.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that absolutely? And also, Good Friday happened to be the only day that most of these laborers that worked in all of these other people's fields had off to do anything in their yards. So
that's right.
That's when they planted their potatoes, which is the only thing that carried them through many, many years.
Now here it talks about all 4 quarters of the moon phases. They claim, now this is, from old, I don't know if it's wives' tales or science, that the first quarter is when you plant crops which bloom above ground, like spinach and lettuce, cucumbers and corn, to name a few. So that would be the first phase of the moon, okay? The second quarter, leading up to the full moon, is the time to plant above ground seed crops like beans, watermelon, squash, and tomatoes. Now the third quarter, which is the week following the full moon, root vegetables like carrots and potatoes should go in, as well as the bulb flowers. And finally, the last quarter of the waning moon is the time to avoid planting altogether, instead work on garden maintenance.
There you go.
Right?
Pull the weeds and do all that
Are you telling me our time is almost up already?
I'll tell you, it flies by with all of these calls. It just keeps us hopping one right after. What is wrong with you people?
There's an old folk tale that says, pound a nail, ideally a rusty one, into the northern side of your fruit trees to bring a higher yield come harvest time. Have you ever heard of that?
No, don't do that.
Don't do that?
Don't do that.
Because then when someone goes to cut the wood...
Yes, when I go to cut the tree down, I run into this foolish nail.
And then,
I run into chains and everything else.
The Native American tribes planted beans, squash, and corn in an arrangement known as the Three Sisters, because the corn goes up,
One
the beans
supports
wrap
the other.
around, and then there you go.
Now listen,
squash shades the
folks,
soil.
we have the Fayette County Farmers Market that's getting ready to start here real quick.
First Saturday in May.
First Saturday in May, and we want you to, if you have anything, we want you to go down to the market, go down to the extension office, talk to Becky down there.
Or at least come down and check it out the first Saturday of May so you can see what's down there.
Check out, and then you'll see what they sell and how they sell it, and see if you can bring some products down there to.
And please come join us at church for the Easter egg hunt Saturday.
Come on down, or come Sunday for the services, and bring your kids. Plus, it's all about the kids.
Yes.
The next generation is what it's all about.
It is.
So we definitely want to do that. We've got the Veterans Parade coming up.
Yeah.
The hummingbirds are coming. Get your hummingbird feeder out.
Stuff, because we have a couple more shows before the parade.
And we now have a show every twice a month.
First and third Thursday of the month.
When is our next show?
May 2nd or 3rd, I believe. May 2nd, I'm thinking.
I'm
Okay.
throwing this out
Yeah,
there.
right, poor Justin. He's so good to us.
All right, anyway, we got two of them. It's the first and the third
Thursday, yes.
Thursday. And so if you would please write down a question
Yep.
so that you can call in at the next show
Yes.
and give my wife a question that she cannot answer, and I will just sit
Which is
here and
about
laugh
anything.
at her.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to find another one. I've got a whole bunch more jokes for her to read off.
And don't forget your heart guard on your dogs this time of year.
Oh yeah, heart guard. And put your weed preventer down.
Yes.
The crabgrass is now getting ready to germinate, probably is partly germinating. Get all of that stuff put down, and then please share the love. You got to share the love. That's just what you got to do.
Garden love.
We love all of you. We'll see you next time. Bye.